Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another Sonic merchandise video review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 25th Anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog plush from TOMY. Okay, so this is a pretty newly released Sonic the Hedgehog plush line. At least for England, they've only been out around 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more. And this plush line has been released to coincide and promote Sonic the Hedgehog's 25th anniversary. You might be able to make out the logo on the huge tag there on his ear, which is really cool. Now, there are 3 other characters from this plush line that you can pick up, making it a total of 4, obviously Sonic being one of them, but there is also a Tails, a Knuckles and a Dr. Robotnik, and they are all in their classic interpretations of themselves and not the more modern pre-Sonic Adventure 1 take. So if you're a fan of the more classic versions of these characters in merchandise form, then you will definitely be a big fan of these plushes because they do look really cool, which I will get to in a minute. But yeah, so they retail, at least in England, I've seen in the shops for around £11, which isn't too bad, you know, in terms of a plush, because they do look pretty cool. There's a few other bits of merchandise that are out now for Sonic's 25th anniversary. There is also, sorry, a much bigger version of this plush, sort of like a 15-inch version. I did see that, but it looks good, but I really think that the smaller versions have a little bit more unique and actually look a little bit better. And one thing you might be really noticing if you've not seen these plushes before on this video is that you can see it's got a very much metallic shine to it. It's really reflecting off the camera, as you can see there, which is really cool. I've not really seen this type of sort of metallic shine to a Sonic plush before. The last sort of thing I can really think of is if you're familiar with the Kelly Toys Sonic plushes, which were released around the time of Sonic X or 2005-06. They've got a sort of metallic shine to them, but they're not nice looking plushes at all. They actually look, to be quite frankly, they look dreadful. This, on the other hand, this looks really cool. So I'm going to do a little quick once over the plush and show you some of the details, and then I'm going to do a little comparison to some similar sized Sonic plushes like this, so you can sort of make your own verdict whether you think these ones look, this one here looks better or not. Okay, so let's bring them closer for a better look. I'm going to start with the tag first, because the tag is a really cool and interesting piece to this plush. If you're a fan of anniversary themed merchandise, then you'll definitely love this tag. It's in a pretty big tag. It's about 2 inches each way. It's got the 25th anniversary logo on it, which is actually more like a sticker on this tag, because it's only the logo part that's got like a metallic sheen to it. You can see it sort of picking up on the light there. Like if I was to like pick this off, I could. I'm obviously not going to because I'm wearing it. It's got the image of Sonic here, which I would probably say is the most famous image of Sonic the Hedgehog of all time. It's literally whenever you type Sonic the Hedgehog in Google, this image will come up first. It's obviously the image of Sonic the Hedgehog from the very first video game, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, on the Mega Drive/Genesis. So really cool. I do like that the silver is on the actual 25th, because obviously silver does represent the 25th anniversary for pretty much anything. We can open the tag, and you've got a really nice illustration of classic Sonic here, which I do like. The top part's just information on the company and the copyright names for Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I do like this tag, and I think it works for Sonic the Hedgehog, but I do have a bit of a problem with it with the other characters. I mean, if you don't know nothing about Sonic the Hedgehog, and you're interested in the characters, like, you're gonna not know what these characters are. If you're picking up one of these plushes and you open this, I think it would be really helpful if you had a bit of information about the character at least in there on the back. I mean, everyone knows who Sonic the Hedgehog is, but if someone's picking up like a Dr. Robotnik plush, for instance, and they're interested, they ain't going to have a clue. If they open it and they can just see, it just says Dr. Robotnik is a bad guy, yada yada yada, enemy of Sonic the Hedgehog, I think that would be a little bit better than just a plain simple tag with a picture in it. But it's still cool though. It's the only real problem I can sort of point out with the tag, but it works fine with Sonic. We will cover another one of the other characters in a future video. But yeah, let's have a good close look at the plush itself. As you can see, it's really picking up that metallic shine literally immediately, like when I bring it close to you. It's really cool, and it looks really interesting in terms of a plush. If you've got this on your shelf with a load of other like standard Sonic the Hedgehog plushes, this one really will stand out just because just how shiny it is. It literally looks like I've put him in the washing up and I've scrubbed him with like the shiniest soap you can imagine, and he's come up sparkly clean. It is really cool. So yeah, the eyes are stitched on, like embroidered. They're not like the plastic eyes that you can see on some of the older plushes. I'm definitely much more of a fan of the embroidered on eyes, less likely to get damaged, which is always good. You got the pretty signature reflection part here on his eyes with the white bit stitched on. It's really cool. The stitch work on the plush looks really nice. I can't fault it. The ears look really good for terms of stitch work. If you've seen some of the older Jazzwares Sonic plushes, which we will get to in a bit, you'll see that the stitch work, especially on the ears, is quite frankly awful. But no, this is really good. It's got a very firm feel to it. It's definitely been stuffed to maximum capacity, which I do like. We have a look at the spikes. You can see they look really nice. I do like that. Each one's very firmly stuffed as well. The stuffing's more of just like a cotton stuffing. It's not like I'm not sure what the technical term is, but when you get the little tiny balls that you can feel in a plush, you can squeeze it and you can sort of hear a little bit of noise. It's not that type. It's more of the firm stuffing. There's even the spikes on the back here, which is really cool. Even these ones have got a bit of stuffing in them. These two on his back here, which is pretty cool because you see in a lot of, especially smaller Sonic plushes, they're usually just flat. The little tower one here, this one is flat, although it's got quite a thick material, but there's not much stuffing in that. But you wouldn't really expect there to be any in that because literally that's the towel spike. So it's really cool. The touch tag, if I can get it shown now, got Sonic the Hedgehog, the TOMY logo, and just some information, just literally telling you how to wash this plush if you ever are to wash it. The cream looks really well on this plush, really comes out nice. The hands, I do like the hands. I wouldn't say they're the greatest in terms of I've seen on a smaller Sonic plush for hands, which I will show you in a little bit comparing. I do like that they've got like a black line part here on the plush to determine where the actual fingers are, so that's really nice. And the stitching on the actual glove part here, it's interesting because this part of the glove here, the wrist part, this part doesn't actually have a metallic shine to it. You can just make that out. So I'm not sure why they didn't use the same sort of material as the glove for the wrist part, but it doesn't really matter, does it? And it's the same on the other hand. He's sort of got a thumbs up position now, which looks really cool. The shoes are really nice. He's actually got really big feet. See, he's got a really nice firmness to him as well. And I do like that they've got a different shade of red on the actual shoe to the sole, which looks really cool. You've got the belt buckle here. I do like that. The nose could probably just, I could work that out and just pressing that down a bit to get it stick out a bit more. That's probably just where it's been in the bag when I brought it back and it's just been a little bit squashed. But yeah, the nose is actually a flat material. There's nothing in there, but that looks really cool. And he's got a really cool smile there, which is pretty standard for Sonic plushes to be on the left side. Obviously on that, if he's looking that way, it's left. It looks right to us on the camera. But let's do a little comparison to some other smaller size Sonic plushes. Alright, so first up I'm going to bring in the 20th anniversary Jazzwares Sonic the Hedgehog plush. He's about the same size, standard him up like that. Jazzwares Sonic is probably about just half an inch taller, maybe a bit less, but he is a much more slenderish looking plush, as you can see. Straight off the bat, or at least in my opinion, you can really tell the difference in quality compared to the 25th anniversary TOMY plush to the 20th anniversary Jazzwares plush. Now, I've never been a real big fan of Jazzwares Sonic plushes. In my opinion, they do a much better version, or I suppose I should say they did do a much better version of the figures for the Sonic characters when they had the license. But overall, this isn't a terrible looking plush. The modern version of Jazzwares Sonic plush looks awful in my opinion. This is a much better version. But Still, when you're comparing the two here, I think this one looks much better. It looks much more like Sonic. The fact that he's got a bigger head than his body, which Sonic actually does. They've sort of given this one like sort of more humanish body appearance, where he's about this head and body is the same size. In fact, in honesty, his body's actually bigger than his head, which really doesn't make much sense. The stitch work, I think, on the Jazzwares plush isn't great. As I mentioned earlier with the ears, I think, look very cheap. It is cool that the belt buckle is a separate piece for this plush and not just embroidered on, which looks nice. But then the stitching part of the shoe here just kind of ruins it for me. It just looks so cheap. And these were about the same price as these ones are when these were out at the same time. You can probably still easily get these ones online, such as eBay. He's got clenched fists on this one, and it just really doesn't look that great, as you can see. Just, what is that? So yeah, that's Jazzwares Sonic. The next one I'm going to bring in is the PMS Sonic plush, or it's also known as the Sega Amusements Sonic plush, which is a little bit bigger, not by much, maybe by about an inch and a half maybe. And this is actually a pretty nice looking classic Sonic plush. I do like this one. He's got a much more, what's the word I'm looking for, like a more fluffier appeal to him. As you can see, is like, you can like literally fluff up any part of his body on this one. Even the gloves are the same. So it's sort of a pretty interesting style they've given to this one. There is also a bigger version of this plush that you can get. The one thing I really do like about this plush, and this may sound interesting, and it definitely trumps this version, is the hands. Now each part of the hand on his fingers are individually stuffed, so you can actually really make out a decent sort of looking glove for his hand here, as opposed to the TOMY one, which is like it's all flat. It's a little bit defined, but this one's much more defined. I think it looks a little bit better when it's not using the black cotton as well to define the fingers. It just does look a little bit strange there, because at the end of the day, your hand would not look like that, would it? But it's got the belt buckles here. So it's sort of interesting. It's sort of like a velvet's been sort of patched on there for that, which is like the only part of the actual plush that's slightly got a different feel to it, is the shoe part here. So yeah, that is the PMS Sega Amusements Sonic plush. Good plush. Would I say it's better than the new TOMY plush? That's a tough one. I kind of like both of them, to be honest. I'd probably give the TOMY one just a slight edge, just because it's got a really cool look to it, and as I said, it's got a really nice metallic shine to it. So yeah, if we stand them two up. So in terms of quality and price, they're very reasonable to get at the minute. I'd say 11 quid's definitely a fair price to pick these up for. The large one you can pick up for around 20 quid, I believe, at the minute. As I said before, the large one looks nice, but I think the smaller ones do look a little bit more unique, which I do like. So yeah, if you're a Sonic fan, then I would definitely recommend picking these up. That's pretty much all I can say for the plush, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned, I will have another review up from this plush line. I'll give you a little tease of who that's going to be. That's right. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. That really does help me a lot and helps the channel out. Gets my video out there to sort of help people with my video reviews, see if they help them with buying various merchandise. So once again, thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon.